Okay, let's see if I'm getting on. Oh, snap. Okay, that's okay. I forgot to do something. I forgot to. Oh, I don't need no retouch on. I forgot to do something. Oh, well, oh, well. So, anyway, it's lunchtime. I'm usually not on the course because I'm at work, but I'm not at work because I'm sick. So, I decided to go live and talk. Yay. Hi. Hello. Ooh. So come on in and say hello. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We're going to hang out for a little bit. Hi, Aliana. Good to see you too. Trying to get it together. Whoa, that's hot. That's my tea. Okay, we might have to let that cool off just a little bit more before we start drinking it. But anyway, I have a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm home. I'm bored. Hi. I am feeling better. I am feeling a little bit better. The good thing is that I am not due back to work till next week. So I'm really giving myself a chance to get it together. And since no one's home really, this is a really good time to do it. So I am just chilling at home. Like today, I'm going to clean my bathroom. No, my bathroom is a hot mess. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm finished here. And I'm this room is gonna be done. I need to go get a hammer because I gotta hammer some things into the wall. But anyway, y'all didn't want to know all that. Okay. Anyway, anywho. Oh, I need to do something here. Hi, Jenny. Well, see, here's the thing. When you live in like Chicago, it's supposed to be cold. So to me, this is normal cold. It's like in the teens. It might be 17 outside, but that's normal. See, for us, when it's cold, that means it's like -5 or something like that. Then we talking cold. I mean, 17, that's normal in January and February. So is it cold? It is. Is it normal? Sure. Right. So, you all have cold snaps. We have winter. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, anywho. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So now, two things that I've seen in the last couple of days. The first thing was this conversation on Facebook, which I thought was asinine and stupid, but I'm going to ask you all this. So apparently, I guess Starbucks announced, hey, Court, that, in order to sit in Starbucks and to use their Wi-Fi, you need to purchase from them. Is that a novel idea or what? And people are like, oh, what do you think about that? Oh, well, they just being corporate. I'm sorry. This is a bit, and so I said this in this little, but then the girl didn't want to answer me. I'm like, so I'm confused on what's the problem. So Starbucks is supposed to have free space for everybody just to sit and use their Wi-Fi. And as far as like local coffee shops do that, I said, do they really? No, they expect you to buy something. And when you go into a local coffee shop, you go sit there, you do buy it. Like, it was like, oh my God, they're asking people to do this. It's like, do you go to a restaurant and just sit there and not order shit and just sit at their tables? I said, it's a business. So I'm confused on why people are like up in arms about the fact that Starbucks is like, yeah, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to buy something. Like, for instance, for years, by the Starbucks that used to be by my house, I used to use the internet there. That was my thing. I wasn't paying for internet. I used to snatch off of the building next to me, and I used to use the Starbucks internet. But when I went into Starbucks, I bought something so I could sit there. Now I get what they're saying because I recall seeing people bringing food into Starbucks. Hello, what? I've seen people actually bring food in, and I've seen also the people at Starbucks like, hey, you can't have this in here, and the people getting a little annoyed, right? Right. And see, that's what they're saying, that a lot of unhoused people have been using them. And so that's part of the issue, is because the unhoused people were going in there and sitting in there and things like that. And like you said, locking themselves in the bathroom, things like this. So it was problematic. But I was confused how people were like taken in their feelings and taken aback. Like, how dare they? And then this girl said, indie coffee shops that people sitting there. Absolutely not. They absolutely do not. And they absolutely have an expectation of you spending money there to sit in their place of business and to use their services, because that's an added value to the customer. Hey, D'Angelo. So it was like the whole you know the back and forth, but was stupid to me, because like I said, so are we going into restaurants and just sitting in them? Right, right. It's like, are we? Is Alicia in here? I didn't see her come in. Hey, Alicia, I see you come in. Um, so I was confused. I was super duper confused on why are we like, oh, this is terrible. How about, if I am a customer, I want my experience to be nice. I'm sorry, I'm paying my money. I pay big money for my Starbucks. I pay $7 for a fucking cup of chai. Come on now, that I can make at home for three. Right? There's still now. Let me tell you the funniest shit I just watched on House of Hunters International. Oh, y'all, wait till I tell y'all this one. This was the stupidest thing I saw. Okay, so there's this woman who, for years, has been a nanny to the one percenters. She said, she has been working for years. I guess probably not even with her kids all the time when they were growing up, in order to take care of them. And she's been a 24-hour nanny to one percenters. So, you saw that episode? Oh my God, D'Angelo. Let me tell them, and so we can talk shit. So her whole life, so all her working career, she's like uh, a nurse nanny. So she's worked with them, she's lived this lavish lifestyle with them, and has been able to save all her money, because of course when you work for some people like this, you don't pay for anything. They just pay you, right? Right. Okay, so here we go. So now she decides she's done. She's tired. She's worn out. She's been working this 24/7 job for years. It's time for her to just relax. So she decides to go to Vanuatu, which is a set of islands near Australia. I guess it's right over in that area, right? Very rural. So she decides that she's going to go there and stay, because she wants to live she just wants to live this just totally opposite life, blah, blah, blah. So, so she goes, and then she chooses this island that does not have stores or anything on it. She wants to live on this island. It doesn't have stores on it. She doesn't want to live around people. She wants to be able to rest and relax, blah, 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 right? There's no stores on this island. You have to have solar panels for, because she wants to live off the grid, right? So she has a budget of 300,000, y'all. Remember that. So now let me tell you, the guy who was, hi Jessica, the guy, the little, if you want to call him the realtor, the native guy, you could just see how much he was laughing at her ass, right? So she's like, I want to live off grid. I want to live by myself. So he takes her to the first place. It's up in the mountains, kind of far away. You're going to have to walk through the jungle for an hour to get to the beach from this place. So she takes her up here. And he goes, I think it was some land. She was going to get like, I think he said either 10 or 100 hectares. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a lot of land, right? So she says the price. So it's like, wait a minute. But her budget was ridiculous, but what she got for the money was even more ridiculous. So he takes it to this place. And it is. So he brings up here, y'all, it's a shack. It's a motherfucking 1-bedroom shack. It's like, it looks like the way they live, and it's got the it's made, the roof is made out of leaves and everything. So this is what it looks like, right? And it's a shack, y'all. And so she's walking up, hey Liz, and she's walking up, and she's like, so this is all mine. Yeah. She's like, oh, is that my truck? He said, it's broken. You got to fix it. It was like, there was the solar panels. She said, was there a bathroom? I cannot make this up. There was a stick in the ground. He has, and with some toilet paper on it. And he says, he shows us a shovel, says, you got to dig a hole in the ground. I hollered. This was for $200,000, y'all. And she said, there's no, I hollered. And then he takes her into the place, she's like, well, where's the water? He's like, the tank. He was like, it was the funniest shit ever. So he's like, this is what it is. And then he shows her, what else he showing this place? Then he shows her where she's sleeping. It's like a little, just a little spot in here, this little 1-bedroom. No, it was upstairs. I take that back. It was, no, that was the one. No, the second one. So she's got a little spot. And she's like, well, how do I get the water? He's like, no running water. There's a tank. I was choking. I was laughing so hard. So that's the first one. So now he takes it to the next one. A little bit closer in. Drives up, this one is only a couple of acres though. It was very small. And he's like, oh, it's $280,000. And so then he says, there's another truck. He's like, oh, is that truck come with it? Yeah, it's broken. You got to fix it. Wait. Then she was like, oh, so then, she got the solar panels and stuff. So he's like, oh, it's got a bathroom, 1-bedroom, 1 bathroom. So they go into the place. And he shows her, there's a water tank. He shows her the toilet. She's like, well, how do I flush? He said, shows her the bucket. Tells her she got to go get the water from the little thing she got going and put it in there. And then if it's a shower, so she got a little shower. but she got to heat up. She got to set up the water to heat it up. It's like a gas thing. She got to set up a water. She got to heat up the water, put it in it, kind of basically do like the kitchen, same thing. He was like, you could tell he was trying to like, girl, you really don't want this. So then it was like the stove was, of course, a little propane tank, which is kind of like the Asian countries. There's a little propane tank. He was like, you use this. And you could see he was just being so like low-key an asshole. Like, okay, bitch, if you want this, I'm gonna give it to you. $280,000, y'all. Then he showed her another house, a modern house. He said, well, let me just show you a modern house. This house was fine. It was in the little city proper. It had, a working toilet. It had the sink. It had, the things, just the normal shit you want to have in your house. It wasn't extravagant. It was nice. But she's like, it's too close to people. I don't want to live this close to people. So she wound up choosing the second place for $280,000. And so they show her 3 months later. She's like, oh, I love it here. I love it here. I love it here. And she show her how when she gets up in the morning, she has to set up her water for the day. She gotta start the water heating up, and she got to her stuff. So she can have a hot shower, or she could have, some heat. The shit was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, is this for real? Hey, Cookie. This guy was sitting at home. Right. It was the funniest thing ever. I was like, is they for real? And it was like, yes. Yes, she was living alone. Yes. And what was funny was while she was telling them all this stuff, while she's looking at things, she's like, well, I'm used to living with, I don't really cook. Oh, that was one of the things she said. Well, I don't cook. Can I have food delivered? He was like, no, you got to cook yourself. He was like, no, you have to cook yourself. It's like, no, ain't no food here. You got to cook your own damn food. It was funny as hell. Hey, I thought she was just gonna be like, you know what? After careful consideration, maybe I need to find something a little more civilized. Because she kept talking about how she was living in all these places, like she lived in Dubai and everything, and she, was used to living in luxury because she was the nanny for these 1%ers. So, she's to the billionaires. She's a billionaire nanny, and so she's like, I'm used to, there's staff, and I have my own quarters. Okay, well, he kept looking at her like, well, you ain't gonna get that shit here. So she was talking about, oh, I love it here. But it was 3 months in. Y'all know after they filmed that shit, she left. I should watch it again, find her name again, and do it because she said she started a nanny business. So she said I work it when I can get internet when she didn't last. Right now she is living like in Dubai or something. If nothing else, she's in New Zealand because I know she didn't last. I don't know whose nanny she was over the years, but she said, hey, Sabrina. Because he kept looking at when she kept saying stuff like that. He was looking at her like, well, I suggest you go back to wherever you came from because it ain't happening here. I was dying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I couldn't stop laughing. That was one of the best ones I've ever seen. And the reason why I say this is that because you see so often when you watch these, the people having these unrealistic expectations of how far their money is gonna go in a different country, especially the Americans. I want to know why Americans think that their money gonna go so far everywhere. I'm like, did y'all even read up? They be moving to Europe and shit and thinking they money. I'm used to bigger space, and the people be looking at them like, well, you ain't in America anymore. That's pretty much what. And then I saw what. Speaking of that, I saw what. It was she in Vietnam? It was this wonderful artist. She was moving from New York to Vietnam. Part of the reason why she was moving there, because she wanted to live on her own. Because the whole time she's been in New York, she's had to live with roommates, and the cost of living was so high. So she wanted to go to Vietnam. She only wanted to pay like $200 a month, maybe $250 a month rent, right? But for $250, she wanted extra lavish. She wanted to have a space, like, well, at least two, with bedroom and a space for her art. She needed to be light and bright. She wanted to have, she had her whole little list, right? Y'all, the funniest stuff was the little Vietnamese woman who was taking her around. So she goes and she's like in this one of the first apartments. And she like, I don't know what she thinks she gonna get for 200. Basically, she's letting you know. I don't know what she thinks she getting for this, but it ain't what she thinks she gonna get, right? She gonna have to compromise. So she takes it to this apartment, and she was a very statuesque. She was kind of statuesque. She's very tall, tall, blonde, whatever. So she's in there. She's like, well, she's in the kitchen there. She's like, well, wow, the countertops. And the Vietnamese lady's like, what do you mean? She's like, what you fucking talking about? And she's like, they're so low. She looked at her deadpan and motherfucker. She said, no, you're tall. I was like, no. Oh my God, it was hilarious. And then, them side. I like the sidebars with the realty people. Her sidebar was, because she kept saying stuff about things in the Heights. She said she's very tall. She said if she went into a village, she would scare the kids. I could not help but laugh. She said she was scared of kids, y'all. I said, hell no. I said, when she see this show later on, she gonna be like that bitch right there. Honey, I was like, okay, she gonna scare the kids, y'all. She was like, what you want me to do for you? I was just because she kept acting like everything's so small here. And she looked at her like, no, bitch, you the big one. She was treating her like she was Gulliver and they were the Lilliputians. Right. I took my press-on nails off right now, but I do have them nicely organized. These were not as big as I thought they were going to be. So there are two of them now, but I have organized all of my nails. The next one I do, I will have on a different set of nails because I really didn't like the nails I had. So I just took them off because I was bored with them. I'm not trying to wear them all day. I just want them to stay on so I can film and then I take them off. So yeah, that had me dying laughing. I was like, this is what happens when you stuck at home, though. This is what happens when you are stuck at home. Now, let me just tell you, So I started watching Harlem again on Prime. Because I had watched like maybe an episode or something, or started watching an episode, but I never really finished it. And oh yeah, I'm just quick wear for now. Like the only way I want to wear is if I'm going out. But like for here in the house, no, because I do too much stuff. They're gonna pop all day. No, because I need to like I'm about to start winter sewing, stuff like that. Right, and it's the last season. So I made it through the first season, and now I'm over it. And here's why. I cannot stand these type of storylines where you have this whole thing where it's like y'all broke up, but now you're back around each other for whatever reason y'all broke up, and you all are still in love, but it's always yeah, you but he's in a relationship and you're in a relationship, and of course you got to blow that shit up by the end of the season. So, the whole thing with what's her name, Camille and Ian annoyed the fuck out of me. So I was like, whatever. So yeah, I'm assuming I was like, what? Okay, so no. Mm-mm. I don't want, can't watch it no more. I was over it. So when the night before his wedding, she confessed she loved him. He's like, they never stopped loving you, and they blew up his wedding. And then now she got to hurt this other man who ain't got shit to do with nothing. I can't stand. Well, she didn't eat the booty. The little boy wanted her to eat the booty. She did not do it. She was like, no, you gotta go. I don't know why everybody says that happened. It did not. She did not. She looked at it. She was like, hell no. And she's like, you gotta go. I was like, huh. So at that point I was over it. So I started to watch season 2, and then I was like, right, exactly. So I'm like, I don't want to watch the rest of it now because I'm like, whatever. Go on and and it is very much so. You can tell that whole Sex in the City kind of vibe because Camille is Carrie because she's whiny as fuck. And she's got this relationship thing going on with Ian. So she's the Carrie of the crew. The other girl is Samantha. She's coming from the money. Then you have Ty, who is Miranda, because Miranda was a lesbian the whole fucking time. They just never said she was. And then you have Angie, who is Kim Cattrall's person because she fuck everything. I mean, they just changed the dynamics and how the personalities, but they all fit into those spaces. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll go back to it at some point, maybe. But at this point, I'm over it. Let me sort that out. Because once you start doing that, I just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever. Right, exactly. Right. And then when you see how they broke up, and here's the thing, you see how they broke up. And I agree with little girl Mira, the one that he was supposed to be marrying. You sat up there and talked about how flaky she was, how she just left you standing there and was like, it's over. Based on what this woman said to her professor, mentor. They never had a conversation. She just ended it on the street even though you told this man, right? I was like, yeah, see, I'm going back to Abbott Elementary. Cause that was it was too much. I was like, no thank you. And he was like, so I went through a whole season to see you fuck up. I don't think the writing is bad. I just think not Dynasty reruns, girl. But here's the thing. You gotta love when you can watch these old shows from the beginning because you forget how they started. And you'll be like, what? Man, but see, I am old enough because y'all are a little bit younger than me. So I am old enough to remember Dynasty from the get up because I used to watch that as a kid. So Dynasty, I can recall. Shit, I remember the fight between Alexis and Crystal. And I remember when Dominique Devereaux, Miss Diane Carroll came on the show. Baby, yes, love. My mama didn't watch it. I used to watch it by myself. But that was the time of Dallas, Knots Landing, Dynasty, it was all them shows. What did they have? Another show, but I didn't watch that one. Those are the three I watched. Yeah. So what, Dynasty? No, Dynasty's on Falcon Crest. That's the one. I wasn't a big Falcon Crest person. It was okay. I don't no, they wouldn't be on Tubi. Tubi can't afford them. Dynasty would be on like Paramount or something like that. So I'm sure they have it someplace. We just don't know. Paramount or Max or somebody probably has it because that's iconic. That's iconic. Hi, Jenny. Those some iconic shows, y'all. Falcon Crest was okay. It was Dallas. I have not watched The Jackal yet. I've been debating it because if I'm not mistaken, I read the original book, The Day of the Jackal, but it's been decades, so I don't remember it. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to watch it, so I don't know yet. Pluto is free 99. Okay, even better. Okay. See what I'm saying? See, watching Girlfriends as an adult, I stopped watching it early on because the shit was so fucking annoying. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I gotta go my nose. I'm gonna take my mic off so y'all don't have to hear me, and I gotta go get my toilet paper. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh my goodness, what is that? Okay, I'm back. Were you all talking amongst yourselves? Okay, I'm back. Okay. So Yeah, so that, oh, I hate that noise that I do that, but I do it all the time. Did I start me something to eat? Damn, I was supposed to start some food. Uh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Dynasty, listen, Dynasty was it. Oh, I'm gonna take me a nice shower. Whew. I need to make me some food though. Um, uh, Dallas came on. I mean, Falcon Crest came on. Yes. You got a second? Sure. Hold on. What's up? Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Um, no, I don't know. I got a pot pie upstairs I could throw in the oven. Cause I don't feel like cooking right now. And I really haven't had this. I haven't really had an appetite. And yeah, I don't really have an appetite. So I'm trying to find something to eat. One thing it's doing is like recalibrating the way I eat because I'm just gonna keep going, keep this momentum going forward. Because I'm really, yeah, the whole food is like, whatever. Um, so I think, yeah, I gotta start. Yeah, I got a Marie Calendar pot pie. Let me make that clear. I don't have just no little Swanson's pot pie. I got a Marie Calendar pot pie. Because if I'm gonna eat a frozen pot pie, it has to be Marie Calendar, and I prefer the creamy Parmesan one over everything. Because them Swanson ones, them struggle ones that I grew up on. My mama thought she was doing something with them little stanky little things. I hated the things growing up. As my mama would, hey, them, listen, I grew up on them things. Them banquet pot pies and shit. My mama, I grew up on them. And I can say them some struggle ass damn pot pies. My mama thought that was my mama thought she was doing some of them things. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. My mother gave my one of my nephews. My nephew used to live, grew up with, but we raised. She fed him Popeyes so much he stopped eating them to the point that I no more Popeyes, no more Popeyes, and I was like, Mama, you can't get this boy no more Popeyes, because that was her. Ooh, I'm cooked. I made him a pot pie. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's why I'm the way I am about food, though, because of my mother. Because my mother was not a food person. So growing up in my house, I lived in a Friday type of house. And when I mean that we'd have one thing but not the other. So my mother might buy lunch meat. Exactly, you'd be searching for that one little piece of meat. Um, it would be like she buy some lunch meat and some bread, but we wouldn't have nothing else. It nothing, and I do mean nothing else. With no cheese, with no lettuce. We, if we're lucky, there might be some Miracle Whip of mayonnaise in the house. That's how my mama cooked. She buy hamburgers, no buns, no ketchup. If you was lucky, you might get some cheese. If you were lucky, you might get some cheese. And you would think that we couldn't afford food. My parents could afford food. My mama just was not a food person. So to her, it was like, what? Listen, I grew up thinking that Kraft, I grew up thinking that Kraft macaroni and cheese in the blue box was something. And don't get the deluxe one with the creamy, the can of cheese. I used to have to go visit friends' house to get real meals. And here's the thing: my mother was aware of this. Everybody knew she couldn't cook, so it wasn't like I'm speaking ill of the dead. I'm telling the damn truth. You know, they'd be like, "Don't speak ill of the dead." My mother couldn't cook a damn thing. She did not have one specialty, not one thing could she cook well, not one. I'm just telling you. Listen, everybody knew my mama couldn't cook, and she knew it. She says that she was a career woman before they were career women. My mama went to college. My mama had a job cooking. Mm-mm. I would be excited if we had Kool-Aid in the house because my mama wouldn't even buy Kool-Aid. Don't let us have some, as we call it here in Chicago, pop. See, Liz is going to be right here with me. I had some pop, not soda, because I'm in Chicago. We call it pop. I've had to learn how to say soda since I've gotten older, since soda is the way to go. I grew up on pop and gym shoes. We didn't have sneakers in Chicago. We have gym shoes. Let me just tell you how it is around here in these parts. Pop and gym shoes, not sneakers. Sneakers was for white folks, and I said it the way I meant it because that's the way we always grew up. Sneakers was for white folks. We didn't wear sneakers. We wore gym shoes. Get your gym shoes. Of course. Are you in Chicago? Right? Exactly. I be having to catch myself. I be trying to fix it for these people saying sneakers when it's gym shoes because you wore them for gym. And I'm right, pop. It's pop, Liz. See, Liz don't understand. She pop. She from here. Pop. We say pop. You go around anybody over 40 and from Chicago, we all call it pop. Just so you know. Just like Jolly Ranchers are wine candy. The whole Jolly Ranchers thing threw me for a loop. I was like, Jolly Ranchers? You talking about wine candy? Oh, okay. And then trying to say now and laters was a little much for me too. It's a now later. It's a now later. Say it the way it's supposed to be said. Now later. Wine candy now laters. I don't know what y'all had over there, but we have wine candy and now laters. And you guys say just like that, now laters. So now later. Not a now, a later. Now later. Say it right. Say it right. Now laters and bitter honeys were like the worst thing for your teeth ever. Who came up with them candies? Who came up with those candies? It might as well just say, just rip your whole tooth out your mouth. Don't have a loose tooth and eat it now later. That bitch is gone. You had to learn how to soften it up in your mouth. Oh, that could have gone so wrong, but I'm keeping it right, y'all. But Nowadays did teach you how to soften something up in your mouth. I'm just saying. Taught your mouth patience. I'm going to stop right there. I told y'all at some point me sick was going to go fucking awry. Now it's starting to go awry. Let me shut the fuck up. I'll be good. I mean, if you think about it, wine candy, y'all call them Jolly Ranchers, and now laters taught us how to hold things in our mouth and be patient and suck on them until we got the sweetness out of it. Take that any way you want to. Hey, Miss Madam. I'm just saying. It's just practice runs. Just practice runs. I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop. Oh, you was a piece, Jessica. Just bite it. Mm-mm. See, I'm gonna let that one go too. I'm gonna let that one go too. I'm gonna let it go because I could go wrong with that one. It could go definitely south. Definitely go south. Definitely go south. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start chanting in a minute. Hey, Lucinda, because these waters is getting murky over here. They murky as a motherfucker. Murky. Just all wrong. All wrong. They getting murky, and y'all just encouraging me. Y'all ain't even right. So we got 3 more days until, the talk. What do we think is going to happen with the talk, y'all? What do we really think is going to happen? Right, like the little cow said. Right, because it's just getting murky over here. I try to be good, but that's not always my way. I've gotten better though. See, I take these. I am very good now. Because when I first started doing live streams, that was on Periscope when Periscope was hot. And that's where I really started live streaming. And when I was on Periscope, y'all, I would live stream every day, at least once or twice a day. I just live stream. And it was like really wild over there. Like I've told you all, there was so much wildness going on back then. But I used to do these things called the red lipstick scopes. And they were very, very explicit. And very much, it was more of it was a learning environment, but it was a very explicit learning environment. So, oh, you did it. You ain't got to, honey, girl, I don't need no encouragement. I am who I am. So those days, y'all ain't heard nothing. I mean, it would be some in-depth conversations about, It was the red lipstick ones were they were definitely sexual in nature. And I taught a lot of people, it was really a teaching forum because it wasn't just, oh, we're going to talk nasty. It was really talking about techniques, things you need to know, stuff like that, based on, the things that I have learned over the years about fetishes, things like that, because, I don't hang with the fetish community as much as I used to, but I know about the fetish community. No, I haven't been teaching as much. What I used to teach were two um, women's workshops I used to do. Um, and so I used to teach oral skills, oral and touch skills. And I used to teach about how to communicate with men. Those are the two big ones that I did. It was like a natural progression from the other things I was doing, like from being in my in my space when we had the dance studio. And we were having the belly dance classes, the chair dance classes, things like that. So there was a lot of conversation about it, and so you know it kind of went from there. And hearing things that women said, like I've honestly um I have honestly taught women to relax. Hi, Rose, in reference to things like oral and stuff, because I found it so fascinating that we're in the 2000s and there really are women who were really uncomfortable with oral sex. And so I did stuff like that and really helped women. Hello, Saga. Um, you know, allow themselves to be okay with enjoying it, giving it and receiving it. So it's quite interesting. Quite interesting. And I had a mini consult. Well, the thing is that Byte has to sell it. See, they have companies that want to buy it. They refuse to sell it, Lucinda. See, that's the problem is at the sale. The problem is they refuse to sell it. And so that's where the problem is coming in. And so that's the problem. It's not that there isn't anybody who'll step up and buy the company. The company itself just says they refuse to sell. Fuck you. That's what they're saying. And I have to agree with them. It's your company, and why the fuck I gotta sell it for this one country? We are not the only users of TikTok. The American sensibility is that we are so fucking important. Well, we're not. Yes, they are making money here in America, but they're making money in other countries too. So, what we see is our lens. We don't know what goes on in other countries on TikTok. So, I mean, the presumptuousness of us as a country is hilarious. The only difference is that TikTok took on like they never expected to be. I never expected TikTok to be what it is now. Let's just be honest. I thought it was going to be just another one of those like the Vine and all those other ones. But what they did was, I will give them this. They are very quick to adapt. You know what I'm saying? TikTok has adapted, and that's what they're doing. So that's what has made TikTok survive. Because if TikTok had stayed at the 60-second mark or whatever the short, it would have been gone. But because they started adapting and figuring out ways to get people on the platform, and they understood you may help them make money, people gonna stay on your platform. So doing those things, that's how they drove it. Makes sense. So unless they sell it, it's going down. I mean, India hasn't had it since 2020. So who knows? But if it goes down, the fallout is going to be interesting because we as Americans can't believe that this is going to happen. So if it does happen, I fault the people on TikTok, and I'm one of them too. I'm not kind of, I'm on there, not really, because they're sitting on there like, oh my God, but not making moves, a lot of them, to set themselves up for different spaces. You know what I'm saying? So why, if this been going on and you've been, then you needed to be moving content and making sure you're building your brand on other ones that are ain't going nowhere, just in case. And that's all there is to it. But don't nobody want to hear that. I'm sure. I think they're going to be on IG first. I think they're going to move toward IG first, which some of them should have been doing. Some of them have already got established IGs. But a lot of people just kind of, and I get it because they was making that money. They were popular. So they did sit over on TikTok. Right. Exactly. And so that was kind of how I wanted to do it because I've dealt with a lot of church women, Liz. So that's kind of how it began because I wound up with a church woman, right? Like, for instance, true story. When I was teaching, I used to teach at Country Club Hills. And that was where I first started teaching belly dance, right? So teaching belly dance. And this is like one of my first, and when I started, my classes used to be full. They had to open up new classes for me and everything because I was the only person. I was the only Black person teaching belly dance. So I'm teaching belly dance there. This minister's wife joins my class. So she's like 2 classes in, she's really liking it and everything. And then she says she has to stop taking the class. I said, well, why? Because I'm a minister's wife. I said, oh. I said, so your husband doesn't want you taking it? She said, no, he paid for the tech class. I said, so why are you doing this? Because I'm a minister's wife and I don't want the people of the congregation to know I'm taking a class like this. I said, but your husband won't you take the class though, right? I said, well, you planning on belly dancing at the church? I said, wasn't this going to be something for you and your husband? Huh. I was like, oh, okay. But that goes on, and that was pre this. So, but it makes sense because most people do things for others, not for them, or even sometimes for their loved ones. Now, your husband was like, heard about it. You mentioned it. He handed you the money, like, go on, baby, take this class. And you choose not to take it because you don't want the people in the congregation. He don't give a fuck. Clearly your husband don't care because he feel like yes, because sex is, as I always say, sex is is as natural as breathing, and we've made it dirty when it really isn't. And whatever happens between two people, that's between them. If they ain't hurt nobody, I love it for them. And too much stuff is in our bedrooms, and too much as a country, as a society, we don't. Ooh, y'all about to get me on the. Y'all about to get me on my. Let me get on my soapbox because y'all ain't heard this part of my soapbox. We as a country make character make character decisions based on people's sexuality. Some of the worst people are Christians. Worst. They look down, we look at them different because they are. Yet, if you are open with your sexuality, and let me say this, I don't think that everybody needs to be open with their sexuality, but you have a right to have the sexual life you choose. And it isn't a character, and it has nothing to do with your character. It doesn't make you a bad person. And that is the issue that we have. And that's why we're such a repressed society. See, all of this is part of the Christian Judeo um, uh, Muslim way of thinking, which is male dominated. See, before this became the way, sex was considered as a natural part of your life. People were not, ancient societies did not condemn people for their sexuality. That is a part of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. So the Christian Judeo Islamic triad that has become modern day religion is what has is part of that. And parts of that, and I'm gonna say it, and I know some people ain't gonna want to hear it. So, the people who talk about Christians and shit and what you wear, they really don't want me to say this, but here's the reality. The reality is that part of the reason why is in order to subjugate women and to make us weaker, because when you look at sex as a whole part of a person, we ought to say it. But in order to weaken women, then, and make this a very male dominated society world, which how's that working out for us? They had to break the bonds and the strength of women, because women, things that are inherently female or considered femininity or considered feminine energy or traits, were then said to be weaker, when before it was a balance. You have to have both. You have to have the nurturing. You have to have the creative in order to have the analytical, in order to have the things that considered masculine dominated. That is why we're living in a time where we will not, as a country, vote a woman as president, because we have this male dominated, misogynistic way of thinking that women are not strong enough to run a country. Another word from you real quick. Okay. So it's like I told the lady no problem. And I think Hey, sorry, I'm back. All right, I'm about to get off of here because I gotta go. I'm gotta make me some food. Is this on? Can y'all hear me? Okay. What the hell? Why is it doing that? Okay, I think it's on. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here because it's been about an hour, and I need to go ahead and um, get out here and uh, make me something to eat. I'm starving. So it was good talking to everybody. I hope you had a good time on your lunchtime. I'm gonna go now. See you later.